Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are here in Moncton, New Brunswick for All Out Poker's very first rebuy and add-on tournament. Let's get into some action. The blinds have just gone up to 3,000 and 6,000 with a big blind ante. And our big stack at the table, Andrew, with 16% of the chips on the table at 161K. On his direct right, we have Scott, who is second place in chips with 143K. And we cannot forget about our shortest stack at the table, Peter, who is sitting with 43K, now under 10 big blinds. Everybody loves an underdog story. Hopefully he can make the comeback. Everyone else is sitting right around 100K, so they're not in terrible shape, but blinds are going up quick. This game can change at any moment. Let's get into the first hand. Pete requesting aces. Trying to pull off what Shannon did in a previous video, but Pete gets pocket fours. It's not aces, but not a terrible hand to be shoving with at this point in short stack. It's looking like it's getting folded around here. Brenda wakes up with ace queen. It's no surprise we're going to be seeing some coin flips here. This is the final table. Players are short stacked. So it gets folded around. Andrew shoves all in. He wakes up with aces. Unbelievable. Looks like the dealer got the aces in the wrong spot. This puts Brenda in a really weird situation. She folds. Unbelievable. What an incredible fold from Brenda. She put in about a third of her stack on this pot. Runs into Andrew's aces. Pete's really looking for a four here. He doesn't get it. Andrew's aces hold up.
What a dream spot, Noel.
Pete gets in 10th place.
Listen, that wasn't a dream.
Suddenly adding to Andrew's stack here. Now 238K in Andrew's stack. You'll see there's a couple people here that are below 10 big blinds. Sean and Tim. They're going to need a double up here quick. Players at the table are discussing a little video of a player asking for aces in the straddle and getting it. We had it one of our previous cash games.
Good luck. Hope he doesn't win.
Little added humor from Peter.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, appreciate you coming, Pete. Steve, I think next time, wireless.
I couldn't believe it. I looked down and he said all in, and then she said call. I was like, this can't be real. I think it's a misdeal.
Just the dream, eh?
Andrew getting himself into a dream situation with aces. Nothing better than that.
The dream. The dream.
Oh, sorry.
Looks like it's getting folded around. Andrew versus Sean. Big stack versus short stack. Andrew puts them all in with Jack 10 offsuit. Looks like Sean folds 6-2. Certainly not a great hand to get it in with. Players making fun of the big stack, calling him a bully. We're only two hands into this table here. See if Andrew decides to continue that aggression. He's on the button. Looks like it does get folded around to Andrew. King, queen offsuit. Continuing the aggression.
How old is your girl now?
Looks like John's going to protect his big blind with 7-4 suited.
That's so nuts.
Not a terrible flop for Andrew here, hitting mid-pair with the queen kicker. He's got a gut shot as well, playing it a little bit cautious here. Looks like John ends up hitting his flush draw on the turn. That 10 giving Andrew a straight.
Yeah, I know.
Looks like Andrew's going to fire at a value bet.
20 years of my life will be there.
I wish I would have gotten the pension when I started.
I know.
I would have retired. I know.
But you know, you can't, you know, but who knows if they're.
Looks like John's not getting away from it. Really just looking for a club here. He doesn't get there. Looks like he shuts down.
Regrets on something like, oh, I have much money if I did this, that, this, but it is what it is. You know how much different, you might not have the knowledge.
Looking like Andrew is thinking about a value bet that might get called here. Not going to get anything from John. Andrew adding to his stack. 36% of the chips on the table here. Sean down to 5 big blinds. Tim at 6.
It's almost like this,
They're in really rough shape.
you know what I mean? It's just like, all right, now, like, it's what's it going to turn into?
I think if you do it, and everybody puts it on before you can go, it might pick it up though. It didn't?
Looks like it's getting folded around again. Looks like Scott gets ace king. Makes it 16K to go. Andrew wakes up with 4s.
Look, we had each other. Oh, yeah. We had, how many crazy scenarios would you
Looks like he calls. 2 big stacks at the table going at it. John's gonna follow suit with queen jack offsuit.
Price is good, eh?
Alex letting go the 10-7 offsuit.
So, there's a.
He is out of position as well.
Oh, good.
It's 9:30 something.
I don't know.
Ooh, and Scott hits top pair.
Flex 5.
Great flop for him.
All flexible colors. I go and start it. Possibly starter packages with the prime time networks like CES, NBC, ABC.
Looks like Andrew's just gonna let it go, as does John.
Popular in wireless. Yeah.
Nice little pot for Scott.
Everything's in one view though, right?
Yeah, it's all there, but it's just.
How good is one view? Because Oasis is now completely shut down, right?
Yeah, one view's okay, but it's.
Everyone's certainly not getting great cards. Seen a lot of 7-2s and 6-2s and 5-2s, 5-3. Interested to see who's gonna start picking up the aggression here to pick up these pots. There is a big blind ante. Alex with the best hand with king high. Tim hits a pair of 6s.
5, 6.
Alex bets the minimum.
Ooh, money.
Check.
Check, pair of 6s.
Good.
It's like Alex just wanted to try to take a stab at that pot.
For him, I think. For us, we don't know what it feels like to have two, right? We know we love one. So.
It's folded around to Andrew. King queen suited.
That's 8.
Andrew's getting some pretty solid hands so far on this final table. Gets folded around to Jason. Andrew ends up taking that pot.
Yeah, we're gonna watch the other 5 hands prior that he scooped the chips into, like 8 deuce, 9-5.
Players talking about how Andrew's bullying the table,
So I said, wait.
but he's actually getting some half decent hands.
Talking 10 swapped, 10,
Dan gets ace
all
king.
diamonds. And I look at all that against Mike. He's got
Makes it 14 from under the gun.
straights on the first. Royal flush.
Andrew ace queen. Again, Andrew getting some solid hands. He makes the call. Dan's got him crushed though.
You know, flop a set, lose it, every match.
Jason folds the king 10 offsuit.
It's all just very.
Brenda queen 10 suited. Imagine she's gonna continue in this pot. And she does. She makes the call. Dan and Andrew both hit an ace. This pot could get pretty interesting here. Andrew and Dan got to be thinking, you know, their kickers are obviously good. like we have a graphical error there. Dan did not go all in. Looks like he bet 25. Andrew called. Brenda's got the flush draw. He's getting a great price to continue in this pot. Ooh, the 10 comes down on the turn, now giving Brenda a pair with a flush draw. Looks like she shoves all in for her remaining stack. Dan shoves all in for his remaining stack. Graphics are definitely off here. We got 2 all-ins, Brenda and Dan. The 10 of hearts came down on the turn, but it's not coming up on the graphics. It's a really weird spot for Andrew. He is crushed here.
Matthew's got 9 goals.
A really tough spot. I mean, he's got to be thinking he's beat or somebody's on a flush draw.
This goes on YouTube, right?
Andrew thinking he's going to get railed in the comments for this fold, but it's an incredible fold. A really tough one.
I folded ace 8.
He has ace king.
Yeah, look at that. Andrew calls Dan's hand. What a great fold from Andrew. People making some incredible folds. River comes down, the 9 of spades. Brenda does not hit, eliminating her from the tournament in 9th place.
Wow, I should have doubled him
Oh,
for sure.
does it count?
Well, alright, take your two.
Great size pot for Dan here.
It's gonna screw everything up.
Looks like we're going to have to try to fix the stacks a little bit for the graphics.
Brenda, thank you for coming.
She doesn't, she checks.
Thought it was a great spot for Brenda to finally get it in. I mean, you got to just push at some of those points and just hope for the best. Andrew making that incredible fold in the last hand. That was
Everyone informed that we
great
don't have to go
fold.
hunt crazy.
Not many players, I think, would actually be able to make that fold with the ace-queen.
Again,
It's playing great at this final table.
something's getting screwed up.
I'm not. I hope I'm
I'm
not.
seriously worried it's cards, honestly. That's
All
14.
those hands I played.
It's like Jason's going to take a stab at it. Stab at it from the button. Dan's getting 7-2.
Yeah, you perfect.
Got the card?
Sorry, wait.
Yeah, pause and figure it out.
What were you, I thought you said the park behind you, so you were in the. I was behind the fucking. Yeah, I'm next to.
It's like we got a parking situation. Pretty typical at a home game.
That's why I don't park
Well, take this here.
Quick pause for the hand and, let them move on. Now that we got that figured out. So Andrew's under the gun. See if he's going to try to continue to bully this table. Which he does. Makes it 18 from under the gun.
18.
It's looking like it's getting folded around here. Everyone is respecting Andrew's bets. Except Scott. Scott's second big stack here. He's not going to get pushed around from Andrew. Not a great flop for anybody, but Andrew's got position on him.
Pretty much, yes.
Continuation bet should probably take this pot. Which it does. Pretty standard play.
All it takes. Get a big triple up. Aces.
It's up to the short stack. Sean shoves all in.
That's not right again. Why is that?
42 is when.
It's the first time we've had a tournament here.
Do you want a minute or?
Still trying to figure out the
Do you have antes? Big blind antes in?
system a little bit better.
Oh,
But it's including the ante and
That's what it's
from
saying.
everybody?
Exactly.
Everybody's in.
It's thinking it's 8K.
That's
ante
exactly
every
what
hand.
it is.
It's taking, yeah.
It's
Everybody,
taking
yeah.
8,000 ante every hand.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just getting rid of
Just
that.
put big blind is 16,000
He's all in behind.
instead, right?
Line
It's
at
about 100.
16.
So just
Yeah.
don't worry about it. After this hand, we'll fix it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's
Graphics are,
42?
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know, it's finicky, but it works.
I mean, it was my.
You know, if you're using it right.
All in.
But we got ourselves an all-in and a call. Sean is crushed. John called his all-in with ace king.
I'm glad that we cleared that out, right?
I was
Now
calling.
we
No,
know
I don't know if
that.
I was calling it. That is well.
Alright.
Sean really looking for a jack here. I mean, or a 10. Sean needs a 10. No, and it doesn't come. Sean gets eliminated in 7th place. John taking down that pot with ace king.
Appreciate it.
Chat tomorrow, man.
I'm working.
Three.
Yeah.
Right, 12.
Next hand here, Alex gets ace queen.
No, they keep taxing
Oh,
for
yeah.
Canadian.
You get it.
Makes it 20K.
That's 20?
Scott with ace 2
Is he
suited.
shaking when he bet?
Maybe a little bit. Like a stroking though.
Alex hitting top pair. Great flop for Alex. Scott hitting the nut flush draw.
66?
It is,
think so.
actually.
Looks
Yeah,
like it,
it's
yeah.
662.
Alex shoving his remaining stack in the pot. It's pretty much a pot-sized bet. Scott's in a weird spot with ace 2. He lets it go, and so does John.
Ace king gets the
It's a great flop for Alex.
My head's a diamond.
You have a diamond draw?
So Tim under the gun folds. Just waiting for a great hand to shove with, I imagine. Let's fold around to Andrew, see if he's gonna bully around the players again on the button, which he does. Makes it 18. John folds the 10-9. Alex thinking about defending his big blind with ace 3. Which he does. Alex flops his ace.
Check.
Gonna let Andrew kind of do his continuation bets. Andrew, imagine he's gonna try to take a stab at it.
That's 12.
Alex isn't getting away that easy. It's like we're going to a turn. Third spade comes out. Andrew now has a flush draw with his queen. Alex now has a full house with his ace. Obviously thinking his ace is good here.
20.
Surprised Andrew's actually thinking about this decision. He only has queen high. Must be thinking Alex bluffing in these situations. We can see that Alex is not, and is in fact value betting. He lets it go.
We'll see what we'll do. My heroes falls loose to some hands though.
Andrew said he wanted a hero call Alex with the queen high. Looks like Scott makes it 20. A7 offsuit. Tim's all in with nines. Finally gets a hand he's been waiting for.
He was in the line, so.
Oh.
Be a situation for Scott here where he already put in about a third of Tim's stack.
And then he called the 20.
I think if he's going to raise here, you know, he should be expecting something like that on the big blind. He lets it go. Imagine Tim probably would want to call there. Especially now looking at Scott's hand.
All you do is get the nuts on that stream.
Oh,
You know, here all you do is hit on that. It's like, oh, there it is. There's another set for Tim LeBlanc.
Andrew, ace queen.
Wrong or right?
That's 18.
Surprised he's not getting as much action
That was
as,
my only shining moment.
as he should here.
I don't know how I could read my whole stack there. Like,
He's been having the image of kind of bullying the table, and players are just giving him the pots. Takes down another one.
It's not even. Yeah. It's so that is 18.
Again, continuing with that aggression. With ace-7 offsuit. See if Jason's going to defend his blind with 8-6 suited. Looks like he does. Dan continues as well with 5-4. Andrew spikes his ace. Imagine he's going to take down this pot again. It always helps when you run good on a final table. Makes it 24. Imagine he's going to get both players to fold here. Which he does. So John calls. $16K, that's not right. Blinds are only 4 and 8. This is going to screw up the stack sizes yet again.
That's 12.
Scott hits a pair of 7s. John hits his pair of 9s. Fires out 12. Scott's not going to get away from it.
That's 26.
John continuing the aggression.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably bubble this tournament. It's gonna be Andrew's hell of a night until he blows up in the bubble.
Maybe that's the new thumbnail. Maybe that's just you
You're
blowing
gonna
up.
call his stack off with king high. And the bubble.
Let's see what you gotta do.
Yeah, I almost called you a queen high earlier.
Dan's folding his button. 7-3 offsuit. Andrew gets another walk. Nobody wants to contend with that big stack.
Cheers to Dad's root beer.
Players trying to get potential sponsors on the channel.
Get some sponsorships here.
Yeah, good. I was like the salesman over there.
Yeah.
But But Jack Links is too big. Like, they're sponsoring the World Series. It'd be hard to get to the
Yeah,
sponsor.
they're sponsoring like I think like Brock Lesnar, the UFC.
Yeah, they got like some real money.
Right.
Dad's root beer, we should be really aiming for though.
True, start with the Andrew.
Or even mom. Who's mom's root beer?
It's true.
Is that a thing?
Well, they got mom's spaghetti.
Scott folds his button.
Right. Yes. Mom's spaghetti, the root beer.
Seen quite a few button folds here. These pots are pretty big.
Why?
Surprised nobody's trying to fight for these pots. Except Andrew. Who fires out a bet. John ends up calling on his big blind. Andrew's got complete air. John hit a pair of sevens. Imagine Andrew's gonna take a stab at it. John's not going anywhere. Andrew now hits a gut shot. Looking for a 5.
You got a 7.
Checks back, thinking his 6 might be good. Playing the pot safe.
You should play it. It's too small around. Like, you'd have too many dealers just playing poker all day, playing blackjack and shit.
Tim folding king 10 offsuit.
People that just dealt you now on the table. Big casinos and stuff in Vegas, they can't stop it because everyone's just gonna go next door.
Yeah, that's true.
Andrew on the button again with 6-2. He lets it go. Alex asking for a walk. John called. Alex takes a stab at it. Graphic's not showing his hand, but it looks like an ace.
All the race.
Ace with something.
I had 2 overs.
You did have to.
Toronto's got that new
Point
one
with
now,
this,
right? Just outside of Toronto. Yeah, so it
Push
thinks
it with
the
call.
blind 16 and I raised to 18. It's like it doesn't understand what's happening.
Yeah, well, that should give me a problem, right? It shouldn't let me do that.
It's gonna
but
think
it
I'm
is.
just limping in, adding 2K extra.
All I did,
Something's a little fishy here, but.
Looks like Scott shoves all in for his remaining stack. Ace 8 offsuit. Andrew's got 10-3. He folds.
Give or take.
John, queen 10 suited. Looks like Scott's bet's gonna get through.
not really necessary in the fast structure.
Dart.
Andrew's gonna continue the aggression with a nice suited connector, 9-8 suited.
I didn't like the big blind any and reduced to 17.
Makes it 26K.
I went to the small and big.
Yeah.
Oh, really? It was like, what? And 100, 200 with a 300 big blind. And it's forced action, you can't limit pre-draw.
Looks like Jason continues.
Come in raising or you
Looks like he's not gonna give this pot to Andrew. Spikes a pair of 10s.
All of it.
Says 40.
Jason shoves his remaining stack into the pot. Andrew quickly folds. Means we can just move on to the next hand.
I would have to
Oh, should be I'm standing.
run under update. Let's see if this fixes it.
John's got pocket queens. It's like he just limps in. Looks like he might be trying to trap. Entice maybe one of the small stacks to shove the remaining chips into the pot. Doesn't happen though. John's still ahead with the queens.
That is 17.
There's a lot of draws out there. Dan's looking for a king,
Call.
for a straight. Jason is also He's got an open-ended, looking for a 6 or a jack. Both players continue with that bet. Jason hits his pair of 7s.
Check.
And John checks behind as well, giving them a free card. John now has the check mark with his queens. Jason shoves all in. Imagine Dan's gonna end up folding here.
Spot on.
Yeah, 75,000.
Kind of a weird spot for John now. He's kind of let all the players kind of catch up, getting seen the river for so cheap. John's going to be thinking here for about 2 minutes. I'm just going to kind of cut to the action, not wasting anyone's time. John really taking his time with his queens here. He lets it go. Unbelievable. John folds his queens and Jason takes it down with practically bottom pair. See that hand definitely got Jason into the mid-range of the pack. Pretty much average stack at the table. Andrew's still top. Andrew's under the gun. Blinds are up to 5 and 10K with a 10K big blind ante. Andrew making it 26 with ace 2. Dan's got king queen. Shoves all in. Saying, I'm tired of your aggression, Andrew. It's about time I defended my blind.
Yeah, it's just a matter of figuring it out.
How good it was, and then
It's like it's getting folded around again.
Okay, that's on you, bud.
Most home games, this hand would be folded, but the fact that the player is here, you know, this is what's great about home game rules.
ah shit, I'll let them.
John, Hope's house burnt down on Saturday night. We don't know what happened. Had to be on the stream.
Oh, yeah.
You gotta walk.
It's like Andrew gets another walk.
Oh my.
You gotta walk.
Not
Wow.
only does it
See Andrew's aggression frequency here, 53%.
now he's gonna walk.
Certainly the most aggressive one at the table. Alex is in second place with 30%.
10 of those big chips.
Super tight Tim is at 14.
It's gonna be Andrew crushing this table with that.
I'm sure it's that.
We're up there.
John, your big blind.
Actions to Alex and Tim, and they both fold. Jason's got ace-5 suited. Taking a look at the blind clock.
No, I don't have 20.
Blinds are going up quick.
20 versus 10.
This is certainly influencing players' decisions.
It was a question mark. He said,
20-minute blinds. It's like he just limps in. Andrew wakes up with pocket nines. The small blind. It's like it makes it 35. Putting some extra pressure on the players. It's like John calls quite quickly.
There's more chips.
Yeah. That or win.
Looks like Jason's gonna call as well.
Also back.
It's not a terrible spot for Andrew's nines. See what the flop has to say. Really a pretty good flop for Andrew. He's got the overpair on the board. Jason's got a gut shot, looking for a 4.
What do you guys play? You do whatever you want.
Andrew fires out a pretty sizable bet.
47.
Just pull it all together, play through it. Yeah, we all.
Making this call for anyone would pretty much pot commit them.
Whoever plays it keeps 50% and then 10%.
Both players fold. Andrew takes down another pot.
We'll watch it on the stream, I guess. Not for this big of stakes.
No, this is like feature table, Poker Go Studios, this is the biggest model table.
You know,
ever.
you would get some people like, you know, the tournament tomorrow, people staking you down. Watching you play this tournament.
If I win
Andrew's
this
on the button.
job, I'm playing the 660 tomorrow.
Obvious.
Imagine he'll probably go
Like, we know that.
for a steal.
Yeah, about none.
King 9 offsuit. Which he does.
You have to wait.
That is 26.
Yeah, you gotta wait.
You have to wait.
I can wear a disguise though. Yeah, I'll put on a disguise. Get a different
Alex is
disguise.
going to defend with Jack 7.
Similar to mine, I wear glasses. Give me your ID tomorrow. I'll give you a 10%.
Oh, yeah.
I'll call in sick. They won't know it's me or not.
I'm nervous, making me nervous, Dave.
Well, I just didn't want you to put too much in, that's
I
all.
thought you wanted me to put more.
Alex flops an open-ended with a backdoor flush draw. Andrew hits a gut shot. Needs one of Alex's 7s. Andrew playing a little bit slow.
You can't do that. I like how you do that.
Ace on the river. And Andrew's king high, good. Neither of these players have showed any kind of aggression to this pot.
Wow.
It's looking like Alex is thinking about making a hero call here. He only has Jack high. Unless he's thinking about 3-betting Andrew. Which would probably also work in this spot.
Brutal, eh?
Alex taking some time to make a decision here. We'll make a quick cut. And he lets it go.
I almost hear you.
With what?
Jack eye.
That's like even my bluffs beat you.
I know, that's like, you were gonna continue on any straight, on any shit card, so.
Play my dad king queen.
Quickly move into the next spot here.
Outs.
Jason's under the gun. Got 9-6 offsuit. He lets it go. It's like Dan's finally waking up to play here. Makes it 25 with the ace-8 suited.
That's 78,000.
Scott shoves his remaining stack into the pot. He's got a pretty decent hand of king-jack suited. And Tim wakes up with kings. On the big blind, Tim shoves all in. Putting Dan in a pretty weird spot now. 2 all-ins behind him.
Where's the big blind?
Oh, he is big.
How big one?
So that's
So
probably
big
why.
blind.
69 total.
But the ante's not counting in that, right?
Yeah, you don't count your hand.
No, I'm sorry, yeah, Miami's not counted there,
50,
sorry, it was
yeah.
40-something behind, I apologize,
Yeah.
40-something,
And you
I'm
have
sorry,
what?
man.
You have 78?
Yeah, just take his hand to
No.
There you go. I respect the effort, Tim, to put the ante in your stack.
I apologize, sorry guys, I didn't.
Guys making fun of Tim. Quick little mistake. It's a pretty weird spot for Dan here. I mean, you're looking at your kicker and wondering if it's actually good. Got to think someone's playing a better ace.
I'm still in it.
Imagine Dan's probably pretty happy with that fold looking at the kings, but you just don't want to see an ace. A little bit of a sweat for Tim. Tim ends up hitting the flush draw on the turn. No, but Scott does not catch up at all, and Tim doubles up, putting him from bottom chip count pretty much right up to the top.
59 more?
59, yep.
Scott is down to 1 big blind.
I don't think he was gonna do.
big blind, or sorry,
Scott's probably going to shove with any two here. Jack 10 suited. It's not a bad hand. Gets folded around to John, who makes the call with king queen. Tim's got 10-2 suited.
he's called, right?
But you can't, you have to put it
Just won these chips.
He's all in though.
Oh, sorry, what am I talking I was thinking he's good.
Maybe next time.
And he
Oh, I
calls.
thought you raised the 24.
Tim calls with the Doyle.
I'm just calling the 19. I thought you raised the 24. Confused.
It'd be 7,000.
Oh, right,
Can you just
Like, what?
No, I was thinking he opened for 24 in my mind for some reason. And then I just
Jason
said,
calls as well.
call.
for him?
But I
And
thought-
I need 1,000 back.
I don't know why I thought there was 24.
Alright.
Good luck, Colin.
The ante had me figuring out 24. Not,
See what happens here on the flop. Scott hits a flush draw. John hits top pair.
Check.
Bit surprising, it gets checked around. And there's Scott's flush.
Check. Check it again, guys. Check.
It's like they're trying to get a player eliminated, just checking around.
Check. I have a deuce. I got a queen. Flush is good. Obviously.
There we go.
Scott winning this pot, putting him back into the game.
All the Brunson guys. All the Brunson half.
What a great like quadruple up
All the Brunson half, I had a feeling.
from all those players.
You don't even
If we
know.
were wearing hats.
See, everybody's pretty much at the 10 big blind mark. Andrew's got 32% of the chips on the table. But even him, he's not in great shape either. Really just need to start eliminating some of these players. Imagine we'll start seeing some coin flips. Looks like we're gonna go see a big blind versus a middle position call. John hits his pair of aces. Dan with bottom pair.
That's 15.
Dan makes a bet of 15. John quickly calls. Jack now gives Dan a gut shot. Looks like this goes check, check.
Oh, sorry. That was easy.
John takes down this pot.
I don't know. It is what it is. I'm not upset. I'm a little disappointed.
Andrew under the gun.
Changes everything.
Lets it go.
Restart.
now you're really mad.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go in here.
Now I can see my cards.
It's like we forgot to turn the lights on the feature table.
Alex, the whole time it wasn't bothering you, right?
The whole time. Honestly, I've been folding king.
Oh, you noticed it too. I didn't
Oh,
know.
I
Like Dan shoves all in with Jack 10 off suit.
I thought to myself, why don't they have it on? And I thought, oh,
Off to the races.
Blind versus blind here.
Scott
Scott winds up with pocket sixes.
Same kind
And
of.
then I told Sean when Sean.
3 clubs come down. Dan's got the 10 of clubs and a 6 on the turn. Don't want to see the board pair, and the 8 comes down on the river. Scott gets the check mark with a boat. Doubles up yet again. Down from 1 big blind to 2nd place in chips. Just goes to show that these players need to start getting into more coin flip situations. Players need to get eliminated.
Take it every time.
Kills.
And Andrew gets another walk. I don't know if that's like the 4th or 5th walk that he's gotten tonight.
You just can't stand it.
No.
It's killing Alex.
He should, well, he showed that.
Heads up.
Watching all these walks Andrew's getting. Scott gets ace king on the button.
32.
Makes it 32. Andrew folds. John's not getting away from this. Got his nice little suited one gapper. What a flop for John. Open-ended with a flush draw. Scott's got the ace of clubs. There, John has now hit his flush. Tries to slow play it. Check, check on the turn. And the fourth club comes down. I'm shocked we didn't see more action from this. But John's probably going to shut down completely.
That's 25.
Scott makes a 25k value bet. John quickly calls.
Oh, he turned it.
Guess the bad news is he's got the nut club.
My left leg.
I was 140 in grade 7.
Unfortunate situation for John.
Definitely more than 140.
Call guys.
You need to
Tim's got queen jack suited. Looks like he makes the call.
One sec, I didn't have to.
Oh.
It's looking like Andrew's contemplating pushing the players around a little bit more. He's got a great hand to do it, and he's on the button.
Can I see your stack?
Yeah.
Oh, you live.
I limped, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was just the two of you.
Oh, just eyeballing ours.
No, well, it matters because I gotta figure out.
Calling Andrew for checking out players' stacks and not realizing Tim limped in.
Sorry for wasting everyone's time.
Alex wakes up with kings.
Comes in for the win, but- No, honestly, I'm just trying to figure out stack sizes because I was like, how much is it gonna cost me in one of them stack calls?
That's 42.
It's like Alex fires out a bet. Makes it 42 total. Tim calls. Wondering if John's going to continue in this pot. He's absolutely crushed here.
Hey, how am I?
I was turning my phone on airplane mode.
Pretty dry board for both these players. It's a great flop for his kings. You can't be thinking Tim's playing a 2 here. Under the gun.
Says 77, but this looks wrong.
Tim wanted to see a turn card for free.
You 2 overs.
Yeah.
2 overs up?
What'd you have to?
Oh, sorry.
What'd you have to? Queen jack suit.
Move on to next hand here. Alex taking down that last one with pocket kings. Jason, king 10 suited.
All in.
Shoves all in.
Owen says 94.
Dan shoves all in. King 7.
Yeah, it might be nice, but unless that's.
Scott and Andrew fold. Actions to John.
No, it is.
Imagine John's gonna fold here too.
Right, 70. What did I say, 74?
Might not realize that it's his turn.
Still trying to figure it out.
No, it's like 95. There's 70 right there in your hand. And there'd be 90 in the stack.
94 or 95.
Trying to give you a little extra boost. Like,
That's 1,000.
well, they were saying 77,000.
Yeah, I miscounted the 10s.
Remember when you chipped up your?
Oh, it's not me?
Yeah.
Yeah, John finally sees that it's his turn. Lets it go.
Alright.
Looks like it gets folded around.
Not yet.
The old,
Blinds are coming, I'm not gonna lose my ante.
75-25. Jason's got Dan crushed.
A bunch of spades.
Dan's looking for a 7 or spades.
6 of spades on there.
Not sure what's going on with the graphics here. Why there's a 2 of hearts. Looks like the reader might have picked up one of the burn cards.
It's half ante. Yeah.
Doesn't really change anything though.
Right, thanks, Dave.
yeah, Dan, appreciate
Dan getting eliminated in 7th place.
Good luck, everybody. Yep.
And then there were 6. Now that we are 6 players, the big blind ante is cut in half.
Yeah, I shouldn't have said anything, but it came around. It's 40K to him.
now 6K instead of 12. Imagine that will give some players some more action.
Oh, six, sorry.
John's got pocket nines and decides to shove all in.
40, 56.
Actions to Tim.
Yeah, I gotta work in the morning. Around that time.
5, 6 spots.
You gonna be up to
56,000?
Well, I gotta be at the casino at 9:30. So
Yeah.
be up at 8. So for me,
John's 6'3", half
I
suit.
go to bed at 4 a.m.
He lets it go.
I get off work at 2:30.
It's like John's going to take down this pot.
All good, man. All good.
Blinds are now up.
Lines are up next hand to.
Andrew waking up with aces. I don't know how many times he's gotten aces in this tournament.
26,000 bet.
No, he's gotten them a couple times when we weren't streaming.
What you guys were saying, like, it's happening. Interesting, makes sense to me.
He's going to continue his aggression, making it look like he's bullying the table. Scott's not going to get away from it. Not going to get pushed around anymore.
Oh, sorry, that's your answer. No, never mind.
Find a fold again. She probably should have a
I
fold.
forgot you were
It was a terrible call.
No.
I wanted to see a flop here. Scott hits top pair. Andrew's ace is still good. Andrew's got the backdoor nut flush draw. Fires out a continuation bet.
20, 25? 15. Oh, sorry, that's 15,000.
Scott 3 bets
40,000.
to 40,000.
I'm just looking real quick.
Andrew eyeing his stack. Curious to know if he's going to shove on him here. Andrew does have position. Andrew calls. We're going to see a turn. Andrew must be praying that he's going to go all in, which it looks like he does. And Andrew calls. Scott looking for a 6 or a 10. He doesn't get it.
Time tonight? One.
Looks like he gets eliminated in 6th place.
I got 2.
Andrew's got him covered now. Andrew with 56% of the chips on the table. Alex is in 2nd place with 14 big blinds at 179K.
275.
Andrew has almost 3 times that amount. Jason's in 3rd place with 10 big blinds at 126K. Tim's down to 5 big blinds as John down to 6. And looking like that was the last hand for this episode. We're now on the money bubble.
If I don't,
But make sure to like and subscribe for the next episode to see if Andrew continues his rampage on this table. Or maybe if Tim can make a comeback from his 5 big blinds. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'm your host and commentator, Dave Frazier.
private
Good night.
Bubble, one on the bubble right now.
um,
Top 40 pages.